Hello everyone, it's me again, Charles Dormer from Professor Q's Sports Solutions, and I want to do a follow-up on a couple of products that I had done reviews for earlier. And one of the things I like to do is actually take these products out and really use them with different age levels and try to find out what really works with them and what doesn't. Now what I was doing the last few weekends is I've been out at a couple of basketball clinics for kids from age 6 to age 15. And I purposely made sure I was on the shooting station. You know, when you go to these clinics, they have stations, one for ball handling, dribbling, passing. Well, I was on the shooting stations. There were 2 shooting stations. And while I was there, I was using 2 products. One is the block, and the block is basically this little rubber gadget here that goes over the basketball. And what it does is it teaches the kids how to put their hands in proper positioning for shooting. It's very difficult, especially with younger kids, to have them put their hands in the proper positions constantly so that they can shoot correctly, so you can teach them how to shoot correctly. You know, with this position here, so you have that V. And you can show them how to do it, but what happens is you go and retrieve the ball and you throw it back to them, and then they're back to this again because they want to push the ball up with 2 hands behind the ball. They basically try to shoot the same way they caught the ball or the same way they would throw a pass. So, but what you want them to do is when they get ready to shoot is to get into the proper position, which is one hand behind, underneath the ball. You have the spacing here on your finger pads, and the second hand is just the guide hand, and it's going to be in a spot next to you. So with the block, and you can go back and look at some of my other videos, and I do a whole video just on the block and what it does. Basically, it has these squares that are all over the ball, so as soon as they catch it, they already know where to put their hands. Okay, so what I did at this clinic was I took this with the younger kids first. I had the little kids first from 6 to 10 years old. And let me tell you something. This is such a game changer. There was another clinic right next to me with some older kids, and I had my kids catching and shooting. We had 20 minutes to get 10 to 15 kids and teach them how to hold the ball properly and get a shot up correctly. Well, I have my kids doing catch and shoots. Normally, in a clinic like that, you're basically just handing them the ball and trying to get their hands together. I had passed that at the 10-minute mark. We were already doing catching. I was able to pass the ball to them and let them catch the ball and shoot the ball. Okay? So this is a game changer for you. If you're trying to teach a kid quickly how to get their hands in position every single time so they don't have to think about it anymore, it's absolutely, this works wonderfully. Now, one of the things I want to tell you was, though, when you use it, I want to make sure that you put it so that the lines on the ball are going horizontal to the squares, okay? So you can see the squares here and here. You see the lines here because what you want is for kids, and players do it automatically as time goes on, but when they catch the ball, they will actually shift the ball so that their fingers are along the grooves. You want your fingers to feel those grooves. That's what gives them feel and touch with the basketball. As they get older, they'll do it automatically. No matter how they catch it, when they get ready to shoot, they'll get their hands in the right position. Their hands will be right along with their fingers will be along those grooves. So that's something you want to do when you install this, when you put this on the ball that you're going to use. And here's another secret I had. We were starting to do some 5-on-5 training with them and 3-on-3 training, and I didn't want them to dribble so much. I wanted them to learn how to pass the ball a little bit more, but I got an extra benefit. So what we did was we took a little bit of the air out of the ball. Now, I'm standing on grass right now, so it'd be difficult for me to show you, but if you take just a little bit of the air, not too much, just a little out, it forces them, they don't want to dribble at all at first because the ball doesn't come up as fast and they fumble and lose it, so they'll pass a lot more. But the extra benefit was, if you've seen any advanced videos for dribbling a basketball, what you'll see is that they have them pounding the ball, teaching them how to pound, pound, pound. Well, how do you get that naturally? Take a little air out of the ball, and a young child, even someone 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years old, will dribble harder because they need to get the ball to bounce back up. So it was an added benefit. It wasn't something, I wasn't trying to do that point, but I saw it working because kids, little kids, have a tendency to pack the ball. And if there's enough air in it, it'll pop back up in their hand. But that means it can be easily stolen. What you want them to do is to pound and keep that ball in their hand as much as possible, and that means pushing the ball into the floor hard. The reason they don't push the ball into the floor hard is because they lose control. It's coming back too fast for them, but they have to get used to it. So, and then especially when they start running, take a little bit of the air out, not too much, don't make it flat or make it too hard for it to come up, but just a little bit of the air out, and I thought it was phenomenal. In fact, we started using it on the ball handling, the dribbling portion of the clinic later on, the next time I did it. Now, here's the other thing I was going to say. As I got to the older kids, we started to have a problem. They didn't want to use the ball that had this on it. I had 3 balls with these on it, and I had 3 without the block on them. and they didn't want to use it. One of the kids told me it looked like training wheels for a basketball, and they were too old for that. They were too cool for that. And one said it was for babies. You know, they didn't want to use it. Now, it did start to become beneficial to them. They saw the value of it when we started doing quick shots. I wanted them to get the ball in and out of their hands quickly, and you can see where their bad habits would start creeping in the faster. When they were just taking normal shots when we were first starting, obviously they get their hand in the right place, and they were like, see, coach, we know what we're doing. But as we started speeding things up and we sent more balls at them, as soon as they finished a shot, another ball was coming, and I wanted it gone. I wanted it gone because you have to learn to play at game speed. And in a game, when that ball hits your hands, you got to be ready to shoot. You can't get your feet together and get your hands together. You don't have time for that. So when we started doing that, you started to see that they had their hands wrong, and they were sort of pushing the ball, and their elbow was in the wrong place. So this was a benefit for them then. But what they did like were these. This is called the Hoop Shooter Pro. And I did another entire video on the Hoop Shooter Pro. You can go and look at my other videos that I offer. Go take a look at that too. But with the Hoop Shooter Pro, what we were able to do is, again, get them in the proper form. And again, with the Hoop Shooter Pro, there's two magnets on the end. They just look like wristbands, but there's two magnets on the end. And what this will do is it'll make them stay in tight right here. Okay, so they can come in and they can take their shot just like that. Okay, you shouldn't have to, this shouldn't break apart. If this comes apart, you know you have that flyaway elbow. Okay, that means your fingers or your hand are flying away from each other, and you're going to have inconsistent shooting. So what you want them to do is to be able to come down, catch the ball, and just go straight up with the shot. Okay, they can come down, so go straight up with the shot. All right, so I just wanted to put this video out to show you guys that I actually do take these products that I review out, and I put them through even more punishment than anyone else is going to do. Now the block, if I took this off, it just looks like a rubber band type thing, and it is $24.95, but it's worth every penny. And that's one of the things I wanted to emphasize to you guys. It absolutely works. It just cuts your time for training and instructing down so far. It's worth every penny. So you want to get this if you can. And then for the Hoop Shooter Pro, I think these are running at $34. The beauty of the Hoop Shooter Pro is, though, you can use it for any sport. You can use it for soccer, for your goalies, because almost every sport, and I'm going to put this basketball down for now, almost every sport, at some position, you need to use both hands. In football, it's wide receivers. They're taught, go get the ball, go get the ball. In baseball, when you go down to get a grounder, the hardest thing to teach a young player is to go down and get in front of the ball, and this forces them to get down, they get the ball, they can pull apart and finish the play off. Okay, so it doesn't hinder them now. In soccer, the goalie, you want them to use both their hands. You want them to get in front of the ball. Get used to using both your hands to control and use your body and move your body and stop trying to just reach for things. So if you get a pair of these, you're going to use them for so many different things that they're worth every dime also. All right, so that's all I'm going to do. Remember, there's two products, the Block and the Hoop Shooter Pro. Go ahead and get them. I'll leave a link down below where you can get each one of them from me, or you can find them somewhere else less expensive. Please, by all means, go ahead and do that. All I want to do is make sure you give your kids an opportunity to improve and that you don't get frustrated trying to help them out. All right, you guys, we'll talk to you later. Bye.